A very, very good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We're going to be kicking off in just a few minutes. And thank you so much for being early. We have been working on this particular goal that we're going to be sharing over the last many, many months. And we're really excited. Some of you might have already seen it. Some of you might be wondering what it is. And that's what we're here to talk about. Tulumbe Morocco, very, very excited about it. And hopefully, you will join us in this very, very ambitious target to get lots of us Uganda Cranes fans behind our boys in Morocco in December by using the simple tools that XENO provides for you to plan, to save, and to invest for that. So you're going to give us 5 minutes. We're going to be starting. My name is David. I am the marketing lead at XENO, and I will be your host this evening. Thank you. It is 7 minutes past 7 p.m. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, first of all, for signing up to the webinar and also for making it. My name is David. I am the marketing lead at XENO, and I'll be your host for today as we talk about going to Morocco. Now, for those of you, all of us must know by now that the Uganda Cranes qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations. That's going to be happening in Morocco from between December and January. We were put in a mighty interesting group with, I think it has Nigeria and Tunisia in there. And if you have attended a football game or you support any club, you know that there is severe impact, right, for having your fans and your supporters in the stands to be able to cheer you on. But this particular goal also that we're going to talk about today is not just for football fans. If you just go to your Google and type Morocco in there, you'll realize that it's an absolutely beautiful, unique place to visit with absolutely exciting experiences. And so it can be something that you put down for how you decide to enjoy your December. Now, joining me on the call is our product lead, Joanita Nassiwa. I would just like her really quickly to introduce herself. And as she does, tell us, something really quirky or awkward about you so that we so that we get to know you a bit better outside, you building all these cool things at XENO. Joanita?
David, really quirky? Why?
Hey.
Why not like a secret talent or something? Now I have to evaluate and look for the wrong things.
Okay, let's go with your secret talent. I'm a democratic person, so let's go with your secret talent. Tell us.
So cool. Hi, everybody. So good to have you on the call. Like David has shared, we've been super thrilled to be able to share this wonderful tool with you guys that we worked hard on to ensure that you guys have a wonderful experience. My name is Joanita. I serve with the XENO team as a product designer. And I love it. Your being here means that we are probably doing something right. A secret talent. I was going to say I sing in the bathroom, but only me. I am my audience. I am also I'm the singer. I am the stage manager. I do everything. So in that bathroom, there's a whole concert going on. But again, because I'm by myself, it's a secret. So I hope that counts.
Thank you very much, Joanita. And also on the call, we have David Gonahasa. David Gonahasa is doing some amazing work with Tripesa, amongst a million other things. So really quickly, can you just tell us a bit about yourself, a secret talent, but also tell us a bit about Tripesa and what it does.
Thanks, David. So my name is David Gonahasa. I run this pretty cool company called Tripesa. We are building tools to help small businesses, create digital channels online without having to break the bank. So how does specifically the tourism sector or tourism and travel, how do you get online? How do you start selling flights online? How do you start selling hotels online? This will typically cost you anywhere between, $1,000 to $20,000 or more. It can be done for less, way less than that. And that's what we built in Uganda now. Around something secret, something interesting. Now, I'll share something interesting, and I don't mean to show off, but I have been to every AFCON post 1978, of course, when David was chief of his village. I've been to every AFCON where Uganda Cranes played. So I was in Gabon, I was in Egypt, and I know the atmosphere and how exciting it is. And I think, you should all try to. I was in Morocco 2 weeks ago, so I can tell you, you definitely want to be a part of this.
Yeah. So let's just start right there. You have been to every AFCON, and some of us have only attended games at home here in Nambole. Describe the experience of a live game, and maybe how much it means for the team and the Uganda Cranes to actually have fans there cheering them on.
So I'll start with the most selfish interest individually, right? The Uganda Cranes, we all need to go and support, but the individual experience, I first went to Nambole probably sometime in maybe 2011, no, it's 2011, 2010, 11, I think, the first time I went to watch a game in Nambole. And initially, you're told horror stories around hooliganism and all these things about soccer. And you walk into Nambole and you're completely, once you walk into the gates the very first time, and there's this massive pitch and all this noise and this atmosphere, you would be very hard for you to replicate. And I walk in there and I had the time of my life. And I kept going for every Uganda Cranes game after that. I've slacked a little bit over the last couple of years. But the atmosphere is the same, but then here's the thing, the excitement of the whole thing. So you're getting onto a plane, you're going into a place you've never been to, probably the easiest visa you're ever going to get, because they typically are handled through an easier process. And then it's just this mix of all these cultures, this where you're from question keeps ringing around everywhere. And it's just so much excitement. And it's a whole, then seeing the Cranes in the stadium and actually, because you huddle up as a group of fans, in some cases, there will be a lot of Ugandans who live there, so diaspora who live there. And, you huddle together, screaming your lungs out, really enjoying yourself. It's an experience that I would like to do over and over and over again, and then not forgetting that there's a whole lot of experiences thereafter. I mean, I'll speak about Morocco. It's one of the most diverse places. So I think we're playing in, if I'm not wrong, Rabat, and I think Casablanca, one of the other cities. Is it Casablanca or it's another one? David, I'm sure you know which one it is.
I think it's Rabat and Fez. I think we're playing
Fez, yes. Yeah. So So Rabat is a very structured city. It feels like Europe. Everything works, but to get to Casablanca in most cases, you'd either have to use a train from Rabat. So Rabat is like, Morocco has this, I think there are different colored cities. There's the red city, which is Marrakesh. You have Casablanca, which is the white city. And then you have Fez, which is also, I think, a red city, I think. But it's very, cultural. They have the Medinas, they have great shopping. All the big brands are there. So it's way more than just the soccer. I think the soccer is a great reason to go, but the whole experience, Morocco is a place that many of us dream of going to, but never really have the chance to, because in the past, I think the visas were quite complicated. The process was quite complicated. But, imagine a bus full of Ugandans heading over to Morocco. That would be a great experience. So yeah, that's, pretty much what I'd say about it.
All right, thank you very much. Joanita, have you been to a Cranes game? Can you explain to us, what that experience is like? Even if it's, and I know you haven't been to as many AFCONs as David has, but
I was about to say, how do you want me to speak after every AFCON game?
The experience here, like me in Nambole, the one we know, yeah.
Because I will tell you, I have not been to Rabat. It is not I don't know if it's a white city. But okay, thank you for that insight, David, right? It's dream, true. Personally, I've been to one Cranes game, and I think, like David has shared, the euphoria that kicks in when you walk into the stadium, like you just don't know what happens. You start screaming with strangers, yeah, and then you walk out and get your made friends. It's a wonderful experience. I personally previously was not really a soccer fan. And the only reason I attended that particular game was because there were free tickets and we had like a wonderful experience VIPing. But like along the way, I was like, this is actually really a fun activity. Like you come up with like a group of friends, you say, guys, let's go watch a Uganda Cranes match. You're dressed in like Uganda Cranes t-shirts, you're feeling patriotic, you have like face paint, like the whole experience is exciting. And I think coming from it, I was like, I think I need to try this, like with other people who are probably not girls. Okay, there are some girls who like soccer, I'll find them, but in my circles right now, they are not there. But like gents, and I know recently the XENO team went for the recent, I think one of Uganda Cranes' recent matches. I really, really wanted to make it, but unfortunately, some engagements were conflicting. But I know for a fact that it's something I wanted to do again, and also to go to Morocco to see this white city.
I'm looking forward to that also. I've googled the pictures, and I think
there's also a blue one.
Wow, David, just to rub it in.
Right? Yeah. So if you've never seen what Morocco is about, please just go and do a random Google from things by the sea to treks in the desert to I think one of the widest collection of spices you will ever find in the world, right? So it's a very exciting place to be. But let's go back to and talk a bit about trip planning. And I think that's a thing that's scary for a lot of people. So I'll just start with Gonahasa, because you've done a couple of these. You've been to AFCON, possibly with other travelers, and been possibly part of organizing a couple of, what actually goes into this experience? Because I think it's a scary thing. You're in a country you don't know. There are all these things that go through your mind. But can you just break us down what goes into the trip planning? What can people, think about when they're planning for a trip like this? And how can they best, do it?
Or what I didn't say while I was talking about having been to all these trips, all these AFCON things, was that I was doing it as part of a team with a company I ran called Round Bob. And the first AFCON in Gabon, we took, I think, about 30 people. That was quite difficult. And then when we went to Egypt, we had about 120 or 130 people. Now, when you're going on any of these trips, the flight's the easiest part. So there's the flight, there's the visa, there's the hotels, there's getting to the games, there's, how many games would you watch? So I'd like to share sort of the experiences with Gabon and Egypt, so you get a feel of it. So the first game in Gabon was in a place called Port Gentil. So Port Gentil is this, it's a what do you call peninsula. So it's at the end on the other side. So you have to either fly because there's no road to get there. So we had to organize if you're going on your own, you have to figure out the flight into the city of what's the capital of Gabon? I forget the name now. Libreville. So you'd fly into Libreville and then have to figure out how to get from Libreville to Port Gentil. It's unfortunate some of our Uganda Cranes players and the teams actually slept overnight on the airport floor because there was sort of poor planning. So finding domestic flights can be complicated. In some cases, not very good road networks in some places like Gabon. And then you get there, and because of AFCON, all the hotels last minute were extremely inflated. So what typically would be an 8-hour hotel would now cost, $300-400. So, and then after you get there, and we found other groups of Ugandans who were there, and we realized that some of these people never had match tickets, or transfers to the games. So it's the small things that you don't think about, or you may overlook when you're doing your trip planning, for doing it individually, that may be complicated. And also it's just how expensive it can be if you're doing it yourself, because typically as a group, you're able to negotiate rates. So when we did Gabon, we did both Port Gentil and then OEM, and I'll just to give you again context, OEM was about 600 kilometers away from Libreville, no, 500 kilometers away from Libreville. So it's Kampala-Arua. But the road's very narrow. You're driving through the forest for 4 hours of these 7 hours. The food's extremely bad. The hotels are very complicated. So you need to have complete planning prior. And I think the beauty of this is what XENO is probably going to do, or what XENO is doing, is ideally have complete trip planning. So by the time you leave Kampala, It's already been very well scheduled. So you land in either Casablanca or because Rabat's airport's pretty small, so most probably Casablanca, and there will be a pickup that will take you to the hotel in Rabat if you're going for one game. And in Rabat, you will have, of course, hotel catered for. You'll have your match tickets when you get there. You will get picked up from that location, taken to the game and back to the hotel. Of course, you can sort of design some extracurricular activities yourselves, and that can be added to the plan, but you have sort of scheduled times and scheduled, structures. If you're going for one game, so there should ideally be a one game package. So you're going to watch one game, which means you probably get in there for one night, go watch the game, maybe have one day extra and come back. You can have a 2-game package where you go, stay, do one game, have a few activities, maybe take a tour all the way to Marrakesh or take a tour to some of the other cities, and then 2 games and return. You can have a 3-game package if, again, people have different capabilities, as they say. There's what's the word for it? So you're able to say that I want to do 3 games, and the 3 games, same thing. The days in between, so typically about 3 days in between different games, you can take that time to go and tour the country or see or have experiences. Now, there's a question that normally comes up around, what if Uganda Cranes qualifies for the second round and I want to stay longer? Now, there's complexities because that then implies you must change flights, you must change dates. So we typically advise, if you want to stay longer, plan for sort of 4 games and say, I want to go in there for 4 games. If Uganda Cranes qualifies, then at that point you can probably keep changing. So you don't have to change once or twice, because if they win the second round, then you have the quarterfinal. So yeah, so the planning typically should cover every single element of the trip, such that the traveler has nothing to worry about except their shopping money and extra spending money in case they want to go out and do some private activities.
All right, thank you very much for that. And you spoke quite a bit about planning, and I think one of them is scouring the internet, try and find flight here, hotel there, how much will it cost, put this in an Excel sheet, then, can I afford it? Can I save for it? Joanita, can you just take us through the way this goal was set up and how you sort of approached those things around planning for the trip and saving for the trip, and how hopefully it makes some of the things that David has mentioned a bit easier.
Certainly. So so I'll go back to around November 2024 when I like to call him my supreme leader, but our chief product officer had an interesting conversation with a colleague, random conversation somewhere, and I think the banter was about soccer, and then the gentleman said, "Oh, by the way, you guys have an investment thing where people can save and plan and so on and so forth." And he was like, "Yeah, we do." And he was like, "Why don't you guys do something for like us soccer fans who want to like travel and support the Uganda Cranes?" So he kind of like put a pin in it, and then when we had a meeting, he was like, so someone said something, I just don't know, maybe. He was like, let me just throw it out there. Let's think on it and see if it's something that we can do. But as is every creative, you throw them an inch, they'll take a mile. So we went the whole mile. We started to think about what does it take to travel? What does it take to travel for something that you're passionate about? And then we went down to, if many of us are familiar with scoping journeys, we started to think through, what problem are we solving for? If I wanted to travel for an event, what problems would I encounter? Now, for many of us, we know the whole planning for a travel experience is hectic. Like at first you think you only need a ticket. Next thing you know, you need an Airbnb, you need to plan for your food. There's some shopping in there. There's some wanting to visit sites. And then the miscellaneous, Baganda like to call it, so just to be safe. So when we thought through all that, and of course in conversations with other people where you're like, oh, when you're planning for a travel trip, like what do you usually look forward to? They tell you what they look forward to, and then you say, what are the challenges you face? They're like, man, visas, just the flights, sometimes expensive, but also knowing which flight to take. There are many airlines, all of them providing different offerings and so on and so forth. So light bulb moment for us, we said, now let's design a product that caters to all those things and just gives you one thing to worry about, the cost. So that one cost will encompass everything that you're there saying, now I don't know how much a flight will cost, now I don't know how much, so we take care of all of that for you and provide you just one thing for you to worry about, which is the figure, the final figure. So many people, especially men, and I'm speaking to both Davids here, you people like to say, Madam will come and say, honey, we go to Dubai, and honey will say, okay, how much is it? Then, you know, so honey will go and make the plan, travel, what, the children, the visa, the what, you know, and then she'll come and say, honey, we need 20 million for us to have a comfortable trip. Then David will say, 20 million, okay. So David being David, dog with a bone, he will say, I need 20 million by August. So then we said, okay, so if we look at it in that way, people just need to worry about one thing. I want to travel. I want to travel to this location. I want to go around this time. And then we do the summation and provide you like a total figure that you need to worry about. So what does that mean? We have helped you plan technically for everything. And what does planning involve? It means you have a goal. That goal is to travel to a certain destination. 2 is you have a timeline to when you want to travel. So there's a time horizon in which you want to be able to make that trip. But 3 is that now you know that there's a cost attached to that travel, which means you need to plan for it. Some of us are wealthy, so we wake up one morning, we say, want to go to Dubai, we swipe the card, we go, you know. But others are like, you know what, I want to travel to Dubai in 2025. So I need to save X amount of money by this time for me to be able to travel. So the Tulumbe Morocco goal was then designed in a way that, 1, it encompasses all those things, so that when someone comes onto our platform and says, I'm excited about supporting Uganda Cranes this year, I want to go be there for my boys, what does it take? XENO says, say no more, my guy, hold my juice. We show you the app, we say, okay, so when you log in here, if you don't have the XENO app already, will of course enable you to walk through the platform on board. And then when you come to the point of selecting what you're interested in, we went the extra mile to even break down the packages in a way that provides for different clusters of people. So right now we are calling them packages, goals, you can call them whatever works for you, budgets, anything that sits well for you. So as Joanita, if I'm traveling maybe with my family and we are considering this Morocco trip, 1, for my husband and I to watch the soccer match, but also maybe for us to have a wonderful time at the end of the year, and maybe we can afford a certain package that falls within our range, we can select that package. That package already entails everything that we need. And then it's easy for us to save towards that goal. So we have 3 packages at the moment, and of course we'll demo all that in the latter part of this webinar. You'll have an opportunity to look at how we broke those down. So we have 3 packages. 1 is the budget package. The second one is compact, and the third one is luxury. So budget is like my guy, we need to fix ourselves, we need to figure it out. Like, yeah, money is tight, but we really want to make the trip. Compact is the not so bad. We can still, we can still have a wonderful time together. We can, we can go the extra mile, squeeze in some shopping, squeeze in some travel, and so on and so forth. And then Luxury is that one who says, my friend, suffering is not my portion. I'm gonna go to, maybe David can share with us, one of those very fancy hotels in like Rabat or Casablanca, where just like my friend, spare no expense. If it's Uber, we're going to be Ubering in Tesla. We are going to, in fact, the driver shall be on beck and call. They will be calling us. Food, we shall be at like 5-star hotels, 5-star restaurants. Like, you're going all out. You want to go for the big experience. Tickets, VIP, front row seats, and so on and so forth. So we factored in all those needs for all those different categories of people. So you will see that even the packages provide for that, for each of those. And then therein, all we do henceforth is to enable you to track that goal. So you've said you want to go in November, so we'll keep nudging you and saying, hey, now you have enough to pay for your ticket. Hey, did you know that maybe some changes have happened in Morocco and all this, all this has happened, so please maybe carry this or carry that, and just to be able to handhold the client's hand all the way to the very end. Seeing it now to fruition, and having some feedback from the different clients that have been able to encounter it, we've also made those tweaks and changes where some people are like, okay, the packages you provided for are wonderful, but I want to customize my own, I want to customize my own package. We also made a provision for that. So you'll come and say, okay, all these packages are fantastic, but maybe I have a figure in my head. Maybe I already paid for my ticket. I already took care of some of these things that are listed. I just have a certain sum that I want to save for in this period of time. We also made a provision for that. So technically, when you visit that goal in the way that we designed it, we saw to it that we cover and take care of any problem that a client could potentially face when they are planning for travel. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Joanita, for that. I think I'll just go back to David. And again, a lot of us wait till the way we plan for travel is, as she said, I want to go in November, trip is in December, then I'm like, I need 14 million in November, right? You have extensive experience in planning and helping people have these experiences. And of course, people will say that, the way we think about travel in Africa is very different from the way in Europe, think about it. When someone is coming to one of our national parks, you listen to stories like I've been saving for this for 2 years, to be able to enjoy this experience. Can you just, give the ideal person? Because most people just say either I don't have the money or I can't afford to travel, or these things are not for me. And yet, with a bit of maybe planning, they could be able to do some of the stuff. So in your experience, planning this stuff and working with travelers and the things that you've seen work and succeed, what can people think about? Not just for this Morocco trip, but as they even plan other trips. Yeah.
So the challenge we have culturally is that we live in a country where we all believe in the statement, colleagues, money will come, right? So you start, you sort of make the plan and you assume, yeah, by Christmas I'll do it. We ran Round Bob and run a travel savings wallet, and we saw people actually be able to achieve travel as a dream, But I want to go back to, again, sort of why travel, and it's important to speak about this. So Morocco and travel and AFCON is more than just going to a place. It's immersing yourself in very unique culture. It's going to a place where you probably would have a very minimal chance of ever going to in your life. So you'll say, why? David spoke a little bit about the spices in Morocco and all these things, but the culture, the inspiration, just the time away, seeing how people do things differently. Uganda is hosting AFCON next year, which is interesting. I think in 2 years, right? And just even going to see how they're doing it and coming back and doing that. Now, from a general perspective around travel, I always think and say that travel is the best gift you can give yourself, because it's just that cultural immersion or that experience never leaves you the same. Because when you come back here, you have new ideas, you have new inspirations, you have new ways to think about things. And the challenge we have is people never realize how easy it is if you just put some money away. You may earn 10 million shillings a month. And Dubai, a family package to Dubai would cost you, say, $3,000. That's 1 month's salary. Now, depending on your saving structure and then, of course, how things are planned, you may find that even with that money, you never really get a chance to go anywhere because you just don't plan for it. And planning means actually deliberately saying that I will put some money aside for my family trip on a regular basis. And so it's not heavy, right? So you're not getting there and feeling like, oh, I spent so much money, I feel bad about it. Because you can think about it this way. So if you wanted to go to Dubai, we're in April now. If you're able to put aside 500,000 shillings every month from now, by December, how much do you have, David? You did mathematics, I did not.
That's how many months do you have to December?
It's about 8 months to December, right? That's 4 million shillings. That's about 1,000. What's about $1,000? You'd be surprised that if you also choose to travel in the lowest, the cheaper seasons, right? So between December 16th and December 22nd are the best times to travel, because the bigger number of people are looking to travel around Christmas or New Year's time. So you will find that flights around the time are probably $400. A hotel is cheap, and you're able to actually have it won't be the greatest experience, but it's an experience in itself. So this planning mechanism, or the planning culture, is something we've not had for a while, but something that you need to cultivate, because it's and I say this, I've not traveled to so many places, but I've been to more than many other people, and I can tell you that the amount of influences, the number of influences, number of inspirations, different ways of thinking. I'll give you an example. So 2 weeks ago in Morocco, and you'll see this when you go to Morocco, there's so many cities where you still have horse carriages running on the street, right? It's like a tourist thing. It's a very touristy city. So we went for a visit to the souk, and then the souk is like this big market, and we decided to go to see the horses because one of us, a Ugandan guy, was like, let's see the horses. So we asked, can we do a horse ride from that point to the hotel? And it was such a liberating feeling because you feel like, look at this, I've left my village in Bugwede and here I am now riding a horse in Morocco. So little things like that can be so inspiring. And I say that the only way you achieve them is actually actively planning for them and being able to do them.
So, I mean, speaking of planning, Joanita, and being able to put away money for the trip constantly. I know that, you know, people have a lot of competing priorities. You know, life happens. You're planning to go to Morocco, but the, you know, child in the village swallows a slasher, you know, and all those things that, you know, you have to contend with. How does XENO help with that, or people who might be struggling with that, or people who are probably not worried they want to be consistent, or worried they won't hit the goal? Because again, it's sometimes, you know, you are scared of your own, I don't know, discipline or indiscipline for that matter. How does XENO help those people who I really want to go, but I just don't know if I can put all that money together, you know? How does it help?
So, so we have multiple ways that we help with that. We are very, very aware, because even us, the XENO people, we are people. As much as we save, sometimes, you know, stuff can happen, and then you're like, my guy. So recently we're actually having a sorry, I digress a little, but recently we're having a conversation with a colleague, and we were talking about how, you remember that poverty conversation, that, you know, sometimes you're not humble, you're just poor, you know, like if an opportunity came, you know, somehow your decision making would have changed, or, you know, so it brought us to the thought process around, sometimes things happen, and there's nothing you can do about them apart from it. Like, you just have to go through it. You can't go around it, you know, you just have to go through it. So that being said, what planning does for you on the end of XENO is that we ensure that there is an awareness of the fact that terrible things will happen, or even nice things will happen, and that it somehow will still require you to show up in a certain way. We make a provision for you to be able to cater to those things when they do happen. So one of the things we did was to provide autosave. Now, autosave is a way for us to conveniently enable you to save, where you don't have to manually go to somewhere, pick the money, put it on your mobile phone, and then send it through to XENO. You automate your savings in a way that as soon as they hit your account, XENO will pick them and save them for you immediately, invest them for you immediately. 2 is the withdraw lock. So in order for you not to easily tap into that pot and say, now, you know, so-and-so's wedding has come, let me take 100K. So-and-so has died, I take another 100K. The pool keeps going down, and then the travel keeps becoming, we go back to the other point where you are like, I really want to travel, but I don't have the funds, or I don't have enough. So we enable you to lock those withdrawals, and you're not able to withdraw from that account, at least until the time that you've stipulated, or until the amount that you stipulated has come for you to be able to do that. 3, we have also enabled things like deposit reminders. For those that maybe are not comfortable with, like, us taking your money and saving it for you, we remind you, we say, hey, you know, the month is coming to an end. Don't forget to, you know, fill up your pot, because you know, maybe you're reaching a certain point and you're able to get to the goal that you had set. But also we created some sort of like life cycle messaging. For those that are not familiar with it, we just created a way for us to continuously engage you, to say, hey, you're now at the 25% mark. Hey, you're now at the 50% mark. You now can afford a ticket, or you can now, you know, have you gone to do your visa application, you know, conversations and so on and so forth. So the nudges are a way for us to continuously enable some level of engagement, so that you don't feel like, I'm doing this thing by myself. No, we are here to handhold you. We're here to make sure that, man, you don't fall through the wagon, because we're in the wagon with you. But also the way that the tool has been designed is that there's just a continuous encouragement. Like, even if it's like a 50K or 100K, it just moves you ahead. There's a It's like a progress bar that will show you that, hey, you're nudging closer. And as any human being is, myself as well, I just like to see when my progress bar moves. For those that maybe have apps where you have like streaks, Duolingo or the Bible app, you see that your streaks increase every time you use the app or every time you finish a lesson. So we went for things like those that will engage you, but also keep you motivated to keep going, so that you don't necessarily drop off the wagon. Yeah.
All right. Of course, if you have any questions and you'd like to ask any questions, please just drop them in the chat. If you have questions about the goal, how to set it up and things like that, we'll be doing a demo a bit later on, but also we'll be answering a couple of your questions. So if you have questions, please drop them in the chat, and we'll be more than glad to get to it. Now, I think we've sort of touched on this a bit, but I'd like to come back to you, Gonahasa. We've talked on how beautiful and exciting Morocco is to go to, but when you talk about traveling to Morocco during AFCON, a couple of people might be out there saying, you know what, this is just a football fan thing, right? And I'd just like you to paint a picture of how, say, a football-loving husband and a non-football-loving wife can make a trip, out of this and make an exciting experience for both of them out of a trip down to Morocco in December. But also how, I think you mentioned it earlier, that it makes it such an easy time for you to go to Morocco, even if you're not going for the football exactly. So can you just please speak about, even for the non-football fans, what does exist for them with an experience like this? Gonahasa, you're muted.
Sorry, yeah. So saying, first of all, getting there. So getting there, you probably have, on the realistic flight options, you're probably not going to have to fly through Istanbul, which is a great shopping airport, or Doha, or Cairo, or Dubai. So for a first-time traveler, all these are great shopping airports if it's what you want to do. Decent prices across, multiple options of things. Getting into Morocco, I don't know if I'm being hired by Visit Morocco, but like I've said, it's a country I've had the chance to go to about 5 times in the last 3 years, and I think it's beautiful. I've been to Marrakesh, Casablanca, and Rabat. It's a great place for cultural immersion. It's a great place for shopping. It's a great place for food. I mean, the food in itself, if you check online, I think Moroccan food is one of the highest rated food experiences globally, from the tagine to the tangier to the roadside foods to all these, really nice restaurants. It's a great place to go to. Also the diversity. So you can go and watch a game in Rabat, get on a train to Casablanca, and get a train to Marrakesh, or do a total, I think, 5-hour drive down to Marrakesh, which I think is the #1 most visited city in Africa. You're Casablanca, you're at the beach, but you also think 2 hours from, beautiful sand beaches with, it's just that it's sometimes called the African Riviera. Parts of it are called the African Riviera. I mean, if you actually went online and searched for the Blue City in Morocco, you can actually see it. So if you care a bit about touristy stuff, or trying to go and do a second honeymoon, it's a great option to go to. On the other hand, you also have the shopping. There's a lot of shopping. The first time we went, we spent a ton of money on stuff we did not need, but because it's available and you're sort of in tourist mode. But also there's a lot of budget options. So the last time we were there, we went to a little town at the foot of the Atlas Mountains, and you buy the meat from the butcher and take it to get roasted. It's just a mix of very many experiences. And I realized that the packages that have been put together by the team at XENO are 14 days. That's a lot of time to actually explore and discover this entire country. And I think the one thing that is beautiful about this package is that the team seems to actually have planned for the tourist activity around it, which is really good. It takes away all the worry from you. So you're pretty much getting there, and you have activity, I'm assuming, on every other day of something that you're going to do, which is very rare to achieve. And honestly, I've seen the prices, especially I think around the budget deal. I think that's actually a very good deal. And also, let me say this. The difference between budget and luxury in Morocco is it's very far apart. That is true, but you can actually have all the experiences the luxury guys will have, because you can walk into the luxury hotels and have a coffee or a cocktail. So yeah, all-round great experience that you can
You
have.
can fake the luxury. I might not be
David,
sleeping,
If you want. But you will be there.
but my Instagram shows I was here.
We went, so one of the things I've traveled to Morocco is this event called GITEX, which is it's a tech event. And you have all these tech CEOs, and someone says you're having lunch at this hotel called Le Memounier, which is I think 2,000 euros a night. And you're staying in your Airbnb somewhere in the back there, but it's same experience, and it's a great experience. Also, by the way, Morocco has no Uber, so don't be planning on that.
Yeah. All right. And we're sort of getting to the tail end of this. If you have any questions, of course, would be more than glad to take them. I think again, I'd like to ask David. You've planned a couple of trips to AFCONs before. Are you doing one now? Because I think one of the things that XENO is doing, we're helping you plan and save, but we're not necessarily doing the planning for you, and we're going to have to come to people like you who have experience and can take me to where the best roadside meat is, right?
I think that's a very good question. And what we're doing is working directly with Moroccan operators. So it's not like a Ugandan operator, multiple middlemen in between. It's a Moroccan operator who can be as authentic and give you the best quality experience that you can have. Because here's what's happening today. If you go online and search for AFCON, yes, you'll find a couple of packages here and there, but they're really being run by either European operators or in some cases, people that are not based in Morocco. So they're running through third parties. Now, what would be interesting is actually creating the interface between the local travelers and the Moroccan travelers. And I think that's something that we shall be doing. So hopefully we'll be a part of this experience, and I will be there, that's for sure. I mean, I cannot miss this for the world. I think it's going to be a great experience. So hopefully we can do that.
All right, that should be interesting. And I think if you're on this call, one of the things shall be doing is providing a couple of options for people like David who you can work with to be able to book. I think that's been a question that has come very, very often. I plan and save. Do I have to book my trip? In as much as XENO will not book the trip for you, we are working with operators to be able to provide you options, right, in how you can take that experience. And someone is asking, can XENO partner with some tour operators and we have a group travel? XENO could give us the savings plan. I'm just going to just drop this to the product designer. To just again explain to us, because there are a couple of things that are built in, but there are a couple of things that might be coming down the road to make people it easier for travel with their groups or their family. So yes, I mean I know we will make recommendations for tour operators, but what about for people who want to travel in groups? What does that look like?
Yeah, thank you, David. Yes, so we do have a provision, and I think maybe it's something that I did not highlight previously. Thank you for reminding me. Is that while saving for the Tulumbe Morocco goal, you can actually you can plan for it together. Together with like a group of friends, as a couple, or even as an individual. We've made provision for that and a guardrail for that as well, so that you don't feel like, hey, now I have to plan by myself. No, you can do it together. However, like David has asked, this particular goal has also provided us the guardrails for us to be able to plan moving forward, how to be able to support clients who have different plans altogether, or different travel plans altogether. However, the thing that brings them together, or the common denominator here, is travel. So we've made provisions for people to be able to create goals, rather to create an account as a group, to be able to save collectively, to hold each other accountable for, there can be a group administrator who checks in with everyone and says, hey, I've not seen your monthly saving, or don't forget to drop your monthly savings, so that we are on track as a group. And that keeps everybody accountable. Our platform allows for so many other features, and I'm really hoping that if you've not had an opportunity to check out our platform, please do. It has a different range of offerings, especially for individuals, groups, couples, and so on and so forth, even institutions and circles. So in terms of the ability for people to be able to plan as a group, yes, we have a provision for that. The guardrails have been provided. In terms of the question, especially that Justina has asked around us being able to partner with some touring companies and so on and so forth, that's something that's in the pipelines. However, again, because XENO, maybe just to give some context, we are an investment fund manager. We may require certain approvals from, from certain people. Excuse me. We may require certain approvals from certain people for us to be able to exercise certain things. So for us to rather stay within the confines of what we are allowed to right now, that's how we're able to only provide planning and saving and investing alternatives. However, in the future, like David has said, we are actually actively looking out for people that we can partner with. David here is one of them, Gonahasa, for us to be able to provide you the extra concierge services, because it is something that has been highlighted ever since we launched this goal. People are of the view, if you're helping me save, then you may as well help me take care of the entire journey, which is something we really want to do. So we are in conversations with partners, with touring agencies and different people that we feel are formidable in the industry, so that you don't wake up one morning and say, XENO stole my money when a random travel agent vanishes, So we want to make sure that the people we are dealing with are licensed, they are, legitimate businesses. We can vouch for them, so that, when we come and present them to you, then they are people that we have vouched for and have presented to you as people that are eligible and are people of integrity. So at the moment, we are in the process of having conversations, but that shouldn't deter you from engaging with the product altogether.
Yeah. All right. I know, Gonahasa, we have to let you go in about 8 minutes, and we're going to be getting to a product demo just after this. But I have 2 questions, right? One, of course, I'd like to hear what your parting shots are as you say goodbye. But also, I would really like to know what your dream itinerary for land in Morocco. I have the games to attend. But yeah, what for you who has been there a couple of times, what would your dream itinerary be?
Great. Thank you. No. So yeah, Morocco. I've only been to 3 cities, and I've heard about the others. So ideally, I'd like to land in Morocco the day before the first game, or a day or 2 before the first game. Land in Casablanca, head up to maybe spend a night in Casablanca just to relax and get ready for all the excitement. Take a drive up to Rabat. It's a very scenic, nice drive, not too much going on. And then go to the game. So after the game, there should be a clear plan for where I'm going to go out to, because Rabat is pretty expensive. So you need to be sure about where you're going to go out to, or have at least a plan around it. Thereafter, the next day, I would want to go back from Rabat to Casablanca and go straight down to Marrakesh, because it's 14 days in between those games. Go to Marrakesh, spend 2 days in Marrakesh. As part of those days in Marrakesh, doing the souk. Make sure I stay in what you call a riad in the Medina. So not stay in a hotel. A riad is like this house with an internal courtyard. May have a pool. Beautiful place. Stay there for a night. The next day, leave and go out to the Atlas Mountains. Don't need to stay there, just to have the experience. Come back to Marrakesh, spend the night, and then in the morning go back to Rabat for game 2. After game 2, I would want to then leave again after watching game 2, because Rabat is really a more cosmopolitan, just really buildings. After day 2, I want to go to Chefchaouen, which is, again, same thing. You go to Chefchaouen for like a day, so you have the pictures of the blue city. So you go stay there a night. And then, have that whole experience. It's similar, but just similar structured Medina, then come back to Rabat for game 2. After game 2, move everything over to Fez, have the Fez experience during that period of time. And after game 3, which is the end of the Fez match, come back to Entebbe, because I love the Cranes. I'm not sure they're going to qualify for the second round.
I am more optimistic. I think I've seen this Cranes team play, and I think I'm more. Yes, we're in the group of death, Nigeria, Tunisia, but I'm quite optimistic. Are you
an Arsenal fan?
No. I support a team that requires more optimism than Arsenal right now.
Wow.
The Arsenal fan joke has died. It's now on Arsenal fans, and we're suffering that. But before we let you go, can you just share with us some parting shots? Of course, after which we'll run everyone through a product demo and be able to take some of your questions.
Yeah. So I think like I said before, we tried building travel savings in my previous company. We were not a licensed firm. We were not able to have all the reach and everything else. I think what XENO does as a licensed entity, you provide more security around people's money. And I think, like I said before, I think travel is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. And if it's not Morocco, maybe it's somewhere else. And I think this is one way to achieve it. However, I think, supporting the Cranes going to Morocco in its whole is, a bucket list experience. And I don't think there's going to ever be an easier way to do this, because Morocco was never really open to like sub-Saharan Africans. In fact, sometimes we're referred to as sub-Saharanians. Someone said that to me once. I said, "What is that?" That's everyone who is from sub-Sahara, right? So it's slowly opening up. There's a lot of openness, great experience. So do it for yourself, and have fun doing it.
All right. Thank you so much, David. We will let you go for this.
Thank you so much. All right.
Right about now, I'm going to just share my screen and take you through this experience. I don't know if everyone sees my screen. If you see my screen, Joanita, just let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
All right. So when you, log into your dashboard and click either one of the ads that pops up, or you just go to join.myzen.com and able to, pick the Tulumbe Morocco goal. As Joanita had mentioned, you'll see a couple of packages for those who want to travel budget, for those who want travel comfort, for those who want travel luxury, and within those packages there is a breakdown of the way we have thought about these costs for the couple of days that you are going to be there. Now, of course, from conversations with a lot of people, someone said, as Gonahasa, I only want to go for 1 day, the opening game, I want to go for 10 days, or, I just want to go in the middle for, the semi-final and the final, and you can just go in and put a custom amount, based on, what that is going to cost you, and be able to start saving for that. Now, when you select a package, of course, the next thing is you have to consent to that and start saving for that. Now, what the system does, which is a really cool thing, is that at whatever day you sign up, it auto calculates how much you need to save regularly for you to be able to meet the target and meet the goal to be able to travel to Morocco. It's one-click planning and automates the savings towards your trip to AFCON. We really do hope that it helps many of us to be able to go for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. We are hoping as XENO, because we know what the power of having supporters in the field is, that we can possibly get about 1,500 people into Morocco to be able to support. Now, I'm going to be running the demo again, I think, but just as sort of the technical glitch, I think I'll just get some last remarks, because it will be how we'll close the call from Joanita as I get back to that demo. Joanita?
Yes, David.
I know we're going to be wrapping up the call after this, and I'm going to be trying to run the demo again. I think we had a bit of a technical glitch, so I'm going to be running that again. But in the meantime, you can be giving us your parting shots, but maybe also just share with us what package you're going to be picking, where and how you're hoping that experience will go for you.
So, well, for starters, there's a group of friends who turned family, who we like to do a lot of end of year things together with. And they mentioned that Morocco is the goal this year. So, you know, we are in conversations with the spouse, with the husband to to match the energy, but also, you know, it's something that we're actually super interested in. So my husband and I opted for budget because, my friend, the children must go to school. Black tax is real, so life must life. However, we still want to have that experience, but also to share, you know, create memories with our son, and do things that will, you know, expose him, open his eyes, but also we want to at least attend one game of the Uganda Cranes so that it's something for us to remember. My parting shots, especially around this goal, is that I think Gonahasa somewhat mentioned something around travel being a gift that you can give yourself. Certainly travel is like the one thing that you can gift yourself for all your hard work. It's the one thing that you can do and look back and say, this was worth the while. And in creating this goal, we really wanted to create an avenue for people to be able to plan well and never look over their shoulder and say, did I, you know, if only I had, you know, if only I had saved towards this, if only I had put away X amount of money. We wanted to, you know, to make that dream a reality. And as is the gift of XENO that keeps giving, we pride ourselves in enabling people to have financial freedom. Ultimately, even over a period of time, we want that when one looks ahead or even looks back, says, you know, this was the best decision I ever made. And it goes even far beyond just Tulumbe Morocco. We want people to look back and say, you know, I'm glad that I saved for this piece of land. I'm glad that I saved for this house. I'm glad I saved for this car. I'm glad that my money worked for me. And now fast forward, I see the fruits of that investment, which is how investments basically work. They just compound over time. Time is also the gift that keeps giving. So if you use it well, it will serve you well as well. So when you are engaging, not just with our Tulumbe Morocco goal, but with XENO altogether, think through the goal that you have in life. There's always that one thing you want to achieve. So when you're coming to plan out that one thing, we are here basically to hold your hand. We're here to say, hey, it's possible. That car can be bought, that land will be bought, that house can be built. And yes, Uganda Cranes can be supported. So we're here to hold that hand and say, you can do it, you know. So visit our website, you know, check out all our platforms. We are available on the web, on app, and even on USSD. If like, say the technical glitch that has happened right now with the web has happened, you can just dial *165*7# and you're in. There's no need for internet, there's no need for airtime. You just need to have a phone and a telecom provider. At the moment, we are currently serving on the MTN menu, but pretty soon we shall be joining the Airtel menu as well. So if you're an Airtel customer, not to worry, we are really working behind the scenes to ensure that we provide the same seamless experience to you as well. But if you're out there and this is something you've been thinking about, maybe you've been worried about, we also have advisors. We have investment advisors who can actually walk you through and say, let's break this down. Let it not be a whole 10 million in your head. Let's break down this to 10 million. If you saved, you know, 10K every day for the next X amount of time, this 10 million is possible. So all in all, my parting shots are, we're here to hold your hand. We really want you to be financially free. And if that's something that you're passionate about, if it is something that you know your friends out there are passionate about, go ahead to share with them. Let them know that this is possible. Let them know that we are here. And yeah, let's go support our boys. I'm excited, super excited.
Thank you very much, Joanita. Morris and Prudence, we're going to get to your questions. We're going to just try that demo one more time, take you through the entire experience. So I'm going to share my screen again. Do you see my screen? So ideally, what would happen is that if you, joining for the first time or setting up this goal for the first time, you'll see, would ask you how you'd like to invest. Of course, I probably, some of you will be going by yourselves. You select your Tulumbe Morocco goal, and we go through the process again of picking a package between the packages that are available. As Joanita said, she's going budget. I prefer a bit of comforts. So I think I will go that direction. I think one of the things I didn't mention before is, if you feel like, I like everything else, but I want to adjust my tourism activities, maybe spend more or less on these, you can just come in and edit that and to automatically recalculate the package. Of course, you say you agree to the terms and conditions, and then you start saving around that. And of course, when you start saving, it will break down, as we had mentioned, we have 6 months to go. This is what you need to save every month, so you need to save every week or every day, and to be able to make that experience. Of course, sometimes you don't have the money there exactly, and you make an initial deposit. Maybe I have, 1 million shillings, and I'm able to put that in right now, and it will automatically recalculate, your monthly deposit. So you want to put away 100, and you can choose to, auto save that through MTN mobile money. You select your number, and then there will be a system that will allow you to pre-approve. So in the frequency in which you've decided, say maybe you wanted to do monthly, you select when on the month it should come and pick your money. So maybe the 24th after you've been paid, and every 24th, XENO will come to your maybe MTN mobile money and pick that money towards your Tulumbe Morocco goal. Of course, autosave works for every other XENO goal, not just Tulumbe Morocco. And we hope this will make your, planning and saving experience a lot easier. You can, if you're looking for more information, of course, we'll be sharing our website later. But let's get to the question, right? Prudence said I got off at some point, but I'm inquiring if XENO is giving us interest as we save with them for any of our chosen packages. If yes, what percentage is that? Again, I know she gave her parting shots, but I'd just like to come back to, the people who built, the goal. But anyway, in a nutshell, I think there will be some interest made, because we're a unit trust. We use a unit trust system, and when you put in your money, it gains interest every day. But it might not be as significant as you'd assume, because of the short-term period that exists, and because XENO is a goal-based saving. We develop a custom portfolio around this. And therefore, we cannot exactly say, because we don't control market forces, we cannot exactly say that you'll get 10 or 15 or 20%. But you can be able to log in to your dashboard and be able to monitor how your Tulumbe Morocco goal, for example, is getting you either that extra drink or that extra plate of food, or that extra thing that you can be able to enjoy in Morocco. Someone said, in the event that I don't meet my targets, what can I have saved can what I have saved be redirected to my existing goals? That comes from Justina. Joanita.
Yes, definitely, Justina. You just send us an email and say, hey, please transfer X amount of money to this goal. Then we action the instruction, just like any financial service works. If maybe you have an account in a bank where you have money and maybe you want to move it elsewhere, you just provide the instruction and the instruction will be actioned. So yes, my dear, it's very possible.
All right. Derek, you're saying you're having a bit of difficulty with your application logging in via the app. You can't open it even if you follow the procedures. All right, Derek, we're sorry that you're having that experience. Derek, if you can possibly just, if you don't mind, number or your email, and someone from the XENO team will just investigate that and get back to you immediately to just help you get into your app and just help you log on to your application. But I know we said for 8:30 and we would like to stretch it a bit, but I know a lot of you have really important things to do today. Tomorrow is a public holiday, so some of you might have plans to get to. But to everyone who's a XENO customer, thank you very much for trusting XENO. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us on our WhatsApp. One of my colleagues is going to post that in the chat, but it's 0392 177 488. and our team of customer success representatives will be able to help you. Or you can just send us an email at uganda@myzeno.com, or you can get in touch with us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, if you can still access it, and on Instagram. We're active on our social media. We'll be more than glad to answer your questions that you might have around this goal and other goals, and help you plan, save, and invest for not just Tulumbe Morocco, but your next travel experience, your child's education, your retirement planning, and we'll be more than glad to just help you do that. Joanita, I don't know if you wanted to share something else. I saw you raising your hand, or yeah.
Sorry, I was saying there was a question that was skipped by Morris Bariji.
Oh, I apologize. Oh, how did I miss that? Morris is saying, is the pricing per person? Again, we'll go back to you, Joanita. Or do you have family packages, husband, wife, children? Joanita, you said you are traveling with your boo. So, tell us how you're going about that, how this works.
Okay. So quickly, Morris, no, yes, the pricing is per person. No, we do not have package. The packages you saw are the packages that are now currently available, but they are per person. So if you are planning to travel with a spouse, again, like I said, we made provision for someone to create an account where maybe it's a joint account. The joint account caters for you and your spouse, and then you can add any other individuals therein. So you can add maybe your child or children based on that number, and then the computation that will be done will be based on the different individuals that have been added to your account. So if it's 9 million per person for a budget trip to Morocco, do the math times 4. That's the amount of money you need to have saved within that period of time. But then the advantage is that the application has been designed in a very dynamic way that it will provide you a final figure that, Maurice, you have to worry about.
Yeah, but I mean, I think with the ability to edit those figures, you can go and remove accommodation from your wife's package, because your bed.
Yeah, your bed, the children can share a bed, so those are
the ability to either set a custom goal or go into the plan and tweak allows you to be able to make those changes to be able to accommodate all the people who will be traveling with you. From us here at XENO, thank you very much for making the time for attending our webinar. Of course, we'll try and do as many of these as often as we can. Unfortunately, we're not being able to do as many webinars as we would have hoped, but going forward, we will be doing a lot more of this. So feel free to tell a friend, that this will be happening monthly. So you can be able to attend this, but also if you're looking for support and have questions, number one, yes, we've posted our number and our email, but if you visit support.myzeno.com, again, it's going to be posted in the chat, support.myzeno.com, you'll get all the information on Tulumbe Morocco, but also the guides on how to set up and all the questions that you might have. If you're looking for just information on the packages and what it is and how you can set up, you can visit myzeno.com/Tulumbe. myzeno.com/Tulumbe. That's the link that you pick up and share with a friend and share with a relative and share, with everyone that you'd like to share that with, so that you can be able to build your gang. And if you have any questions, again, you can reach out to the number and we can set up a call and explain this to you. Yes, Joanita.
You've kind of mentioned it at the end, but if you're here and maybe you have a group of friends that you want to sell this idea to, we are happy to come to you guys and we can share with the entire group, even help on board if possible, so that you don't maybe carry the baggage of trying to explain to everyone individually. You can bring them together. Give us a call. An individual from the team will be happy to come by to just handhold and ensure that we set you guys up properly.
No. Yeah, and from us here at XENO, thank you very much. Please keep investing. If you don't have an autosave attached to your goal, it is really the best way to stay consistent towards your goal. Again, beyond us just being the people who build this, we're also users. and we've seen the magic of some of these things in our own lives, and we can absolutely swear by them. All right, but my name's been David. My name is David. It's not changing. It's not like changes after the webinar. My name is David. Thank you so much for being part of the webinar. And please feel free to just, again, out to us on our socials, on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Joanita, if people want to ask you questions personally, not like, you know, again, the technology of things, how do people find you on social media? Because I know everyone has a social media account, and I was going to do a disservice by letting you leave without, you know, telling us, where people can find you and who you are on social. So.
Yeah, sure. So I'm not very, I used to be on social media, so I kind of took a step back because it had become a situation. But if you do want to get in touch with me, you can check out my LinkedIn. On my LinkedIn, my contact details are there. But I can provide them here. I can also drop my email. You can reach out to me on jnassiwa@myxeno.com, or you can give me a call on the details that I'm going to leave here. That's my work line. It is only for work. If you call me for anything, yes, I shall not be able to support you. Yeah.
All right. Derek, you're asking one more question before we wrap up. When is the annual report general meeting for investors? I can tell you that is very soon. There will be communication coming to your email and to your mobile number or within your application for you to be able to be a part of that. So that will be coming very, very soon, and you can look forward to that, where you'll be able to see what the performance over the last 12 months has been like. From us here at XENO, goodbye. God bless you. Have yourselves a fantastic Labor Day, and keep investing. Cheers.